Have you ever lost to someone mediocre? Not because they were smarter, not because they were better, but simply because they were more confident than you. A fluent liar will be trusted more than a hesitant truth-teller. A well-timed braggart will be called a visionary. Meanwhile, you, despite your abilities, remain forgotten in the silent crowd. That's the harsh truth of this world. Society doesn't praise the truth. It praises the illusion skillfully crafted. The winner isn't always the one who deserves it, but the one who plays the role of the deserving perfectly. People don't seek the truth. They seek the feeling of wanting to believe in someone. And when someone makes them believe, whether through words or a glance, that person holds the power. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge with their eyes, not their minds." In his world, power didn't come from truth. It came from making others believe in your truth. You may not be strong yet. You may not be the best. But if you make others believe you are strong, you're already one step ahead. The world isn't fair, but it has rules. And the rule is simple. You don't need to be the best. Be the one others believe is the best. So how do you make others believe you're the strongest, even when you're not there yet? Part 1. The illusion of power, the harsh truth about how people judge each other. People don't see who you are. They only see who you appear to be. Psychology calls this phenomenon cognitive bias, or more specifically, perception bias. The human brain is lazy. It doesn't want to analyze deeply. It chooses to believe what the eyes see and the ears hear. When you speak with confidence, others' brains instantly label you as trustworthy. When you hold steady eye contact, they assume you're strong and capable. But if you hesitate, even for a second, they doubt everything. They don't listen to your words. They read your emotions. They don't analyze your logic. They judge your demeanor. A confident person, even when wrong, is believed. A smart person, but timid, is overlooked. This is the illusion of power, the force that makes the world turn. Look around you. You've probably seen this before. In a meeting, someone speaks loudly, uses bold words, pitches a half-baked idea as if it's gospel. People nod. The boss takes notes. That person is praised as having leadership potential. Then there's another person, well-prepared, deeply knowledgeable, but speaks softly, hesitates, avoids eye contact. Their idea is brushed aside in seconds. No one remembers. No one brings it up again. The better person isn't chosen. The more confident one is. Because in others' eyes, confidence is the sign of competence. This world doesn't run on truth. It runs on how truth is presented. And the one who controls that presentation controls the power. Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He wrote, "Men are conquered by appearances, not by substance. Someone who creates an impression wields more power than someone with true qualities. Because the crowd doesn't see the inside. They only see the shell. When you appear with a strong posture, a steady voice, unwavering eyes, people instantly feel this is someone trustworthy. Even if you're trembling inside, they'll never know. And that's a deadly advantage. On the flip side, if you seem weak, you've lost before you even speak. Because people can't distinguish between truth and appearance. They only react to how they feel. A Princeton University study once showed that in just 100 milliseconds of seeing someone's face, the brain decides whether they're trustworthy or not. This means power doesn't come from substance. It comes from the first impression. That's why those who know how to perform often win. Not because they're profound, but because they know how to seem profound. And in the game of power, perception is reality. When you understand this, you grasp a brutal principle: illusion trumps truth. The one who controls perception controls the world. And that's the first principle of power Machiavelli emphasized. You don't need to be truly strong. Just make others believe you are. You don't need to be moral. Just appear righteous at the right moment. Because the crowd doesn't want the truth. They want to be persuaded. And the one who knows how to persuade becomes the leader. Have you ever seen someone less capable than you receive more respect just because they were more confident? Share your thoughts in the comments. Part 2. The Art of Performance, when image outshines substance. This world is a stage, and power belongs to those who know how to perform. Machiavelli understood this early on. He didn't talk about morality. He talked about survival. In the game of power, no one asks who you really are. They only look at how you present yourself. Modern psychology calls it power theater, a place where every person is an actor. The one who performs better is trusted, followed, and given power. There are two types of performance. One is to manipulate. The other is to survive. The manipulator uses performance to control others. The survivor uses performance to protect themselves. The difference lies in intent, but the essence is the same. Whoever masters their image masters the outcome. Look at history. Caesar wasn't just a skilled general. He was a master of the stage. Every time he appeared before his soldiers, he wore shining armor, held his head high, spoke with a firm voice, and wore a confident smile. Even after a defeat, he acted like a victor. The result? His soldiers believed in him more than they believed in themselves. Napoleon was the same. Before every battle, he walked slowly, his gaze distant, his face was fearless. He understood a simple truth. People don't need to see a fearless general. They just need to believe he's fearless. Churchill, during World War II, was another example. His voice was deep, his cadence strong, and even as England was besieged by bombs, he spoke as if victory were certain. It wasn't just words. It was a performance of belief. And that performance kept an entire nation standing. Humans, by instinct, are drawn to signs of strength. A steady walk, an unwavering voice, a gaze that doesn't flinch. These things make the crowd trust. Why? Because the human brain seeks safety. And confidence is a signal of safety. Whoever exudes certainty is seen as worthy of leading. It's ironic, but truth often loses to image. You may be right, but if you don't perform that rightness convincingly, others will still overlook you. In the theater of power, every action, word, and gesture is a prop. The way you enter a room, the way you shake hands, the way you sit down. All of these shape the first impression. Someone who understands this stage doesn't need to say much. Their presence speaks for itself. Someone who doesn't understand tries to prove themselves, and unwittingly reveals weakness. The world doesn't need you to be a professional actor. But if you don't know how to perform, you'll be swallowed by someone else's role. So performing isn't always deceit. It's the language of survival. Those who perform aren't always dishonest. Sometimes they're just protecting their image, to be heard, to exist. Machiavelli once said, "A ruler doesn't need to be truly good. They just need to appear good, because the crowd doesn't look at the soul. They look at the light reflected on the surface." When you understand this, you realize everyone around you is performing too. In the workplace, on social media, in relationships, everyone is choosing a role to play. The question isn't, are you performing? It's, what role are you playing? Are you accidentally playing the weak one? The kind but overlooked one? Or are you learning to step onto the stage and make others believe in your strength? In today's society, what do you think matters more? Performance or true ability? Share your thoughts. Part 3. How the fake becomes real. The law of turning illusion into reality. The world doesn't wait for you to mature before granting power. It grants power to those who project a strong image. The wise have understood this rule for ages. It's not about faking to deceive others. It's about faking to make others believe. That's the essence of social strategy. The common phrase is, fake it till you make it. But through Machiavelli's lens, it's deeper. It's the art of programming collective belief. Society runs on shared beliefs. When enough people believe something, it becomes reality. The one who controls perception controls power. Behavior precedes belief. This is the fundamental rule. When you act like a strong person, others believe you are. When you speak with certainty, they deem you trustworthy. When you repeat that demeanor, reality shifts. Something remarkable happens in your brain. Repeated behavior shapes emotions. Psychology calls this the mirroring effect. You create the behavior, and the emotion follows. Thus, actions can transform your inner state. The process works in 3 simple steps. Step 1. Repeat the image. Step 2. Build trust in others. Step 3. That trust becomes reality. Repeat it long enough, and people stop doubting. They accept it as your true nature. The human brain craves consistency. Consistency reduces the burden of daily decisions. So, belief forms quickly. Politicians understand this law well. They don't wait for the crowd's approval. They act like leaders from the start. They speak the language of power. They demonstrate decisiveness before they even have authority. And the public, by habit, follows. CEOs apply the same principle. In a crisis, they maintain a calm demeanor. That calmness creates a sense of control. That sense of control builds trust in employees. Influencers online use this method too. They live like successful people from the beginning. They post images of a successful life. The audience gradually accepts them as successful. From there, real opportunities and fame emerge. Faking, therefore, is no longer mere deception. It's a strategy to design a new reality, like an actor playing a role for a long time. At first, it's just acting. Then the emotions blend into the character. Finally, the character becomes the real person. You can follow this process too. Choose the powerful version of yourself. Embody it consistently, without interruption. The key is consistency and seriousness. It's not about boasting once and giving up. Reality changes when the performance is strong enough. Machiavelli didn't urge you to lie without conscience. He advised you to control your image with purpose. Live consistently with the version you want to be. If you want respect, act like someone respected. If you want trust, speak like someone trustworthy. If you want power, walk like someone powerful. The world will reflect the image you project. And in the end, you'll believe in yourself. Because what's repeated long enough becomes reality. Part 4. Confidence as a weapon. Confidence is a tool, not a trait. Confidence isn't just a trait. It's a deliberate tactic. It's how you make others believe in you. Not just believing in yourself, but forcing others to believe in you. That's the essence of quiet strength. The confident make others doubt themselves. The timid make others doubt them. In reality, belief trumps reason. A steady voice outweighs a correct argument. It sounds cold, but that's the truth. Confidence acts like social hypnosis. When you speak with certainty, others assume you know. Their brains choose to trust to save energy. That reaction is a social instinct. Humans always seek safety in a leader. The concept of dominance signals is key. It describes commanding behaviors. Voice, gaze, and posture are the signals. These trigger a reflex of submission. It's an evolutionary mechanism from ancient times. A deep, steady voice conveys control. A slow, deliberate walk exudes power. A firm gaze makes others hesitate. These signals work quickly. They bypass logic and evidence. Someone who speaks with certainty, even if wrong, gains credibility easily. Someone who's right but trembles is doubted. That's the cruel paradox of communication. It plays out in workplaces and politics. It shows up on social media every day. Many prominent leaders understood this early. They wield confidence as a strategic tool. They appear unshakable. Voters and the public see it. And they respond with trust or admiration. In the media, appearance matters more than arguments. Bold faces often capture attention. They don't persuade with complex reasoning. They persuade with emotion and image. Social media algorithms favor strong emotions. Influencers know how to display confidence. They use bold claims to draw crowds. They create impressions rather than proof. And the audience, driven by emotion, is easily swayed. That's how reputations are built. Confidence, then, is an invisible weapon. It makes no noise but opens doors. It doesn't need legal authority. It relies on natural social reflexes. Whoever masters it shapes the outcome. Behavioral science describes a confidence feedback loop. You project confidence, and others respond to it. Their response reinforces the image you created. That image strengthens your next action. And so, confidence becomes a habit. Thus, confidence isn't entirely innate. It can be developed through practice. Breathing, voice, and posture can be trained. You can learn to speak slowly and firmly. You can practice holding a steady gaze. Small exercises create big changes. Deep breathing before speaking steadies your voice. Standing tall when entering a room makes a strong impression. Using short, certain sentences reduces hesitation. These habits generate dominant signals. However, there's a natural side to confidence. Some are born with a higher baseline, but even they refine it through practice. The training process works for most people. One important note: confidence shouldn't become baseless arrogance. Effective confidence must be tied to responsibility. The confident who are reasonable maintain lasting credibility. The confident who deceive will eventually be unmasked. So treat confidence as a tool. Use it to open doors of opportunity. Use it to protect worthy ideas. Use it to lead when leadership is needed. But don't let it become your only disguise. Confidence is the ability to influence others' perceptions. It's how you rewrite their mental map. In the game of power, belief is the goal. Whoever controls belief controls the outcome. Confidence is the weapon to achieve that. Do you think confidence can be trained, or is it innate? Part 5. The illusion of power and the status game. In Machiavelli's world, power isn't truth. It's a game of perception. The winner isn't the most skilled. It's the one who makes others believe they're the best. Status is a product of collective illusion. No one truly has power unless others believe it. Thus, power always begins in the minds of people. It's built on signals, not substance. In every group, status dynamics are at play. This is how people silently determine who's above and who's below. No one says it aloud, but everyone feels it. Someone who speaks first is naturally seen as leading. Someone who stays silent, head bowed, is seen as subordinate. A bold voice commands the room's atmosphere. A soft, hesitant voice lowers one's status. Posture, tone, and gaze determine your place in the group. Not intelligence, but signals dominate. When someone stands firm, doesn't apologize, and isn't afraid of being wrong, others instinctively yield the initiative. The human brain responds to displays of strength. People feel safe with a leader in charge. That's why the strong are obeyed. Conversely, the weak are always tested. Weakness triggers the crowd's instinct to control. Others want to test your limits. They don't mean to, but social reflexes drive them to. When you seem uncertain, they push you to prove yourself. That's how the world tests status. Every word, every gesture is a signal of power. A steady gaze can elevate your status. A poorly timed bow of the head can destroy credibility. In this game, image is the law. Those with high status don't need many words. They control the space with their presence. A single look, a moment of silence, carries enough weight. Because in silence, others fill in the meaning. And they always assign greater meaning to the strong. Confidence and composure often go hand in hand. High-status people don't rush to react. They let others lose their cool first. In that moment, the balance of power shifts. The one who stays calm controls the game. In the workplace, this is clear. The one who speaks first often steers the discussion. The one who speaks later, even if right, is labeled a follower. Someone who speaks without apologizing seems certain. Someone who hedges is seen as lacking confidence. Every group has a hidden hierarchy. You don't need a title to have influence. You just need to signal, I'm in control of the situation. That's the language of power everyone understands. It's learned through observation, not textbooks. Machiavelli grasped this early. He knew status didn't come from moral qualities. It came from the ability to shape others' perceptions. Whoever controls how others feel, controls their own position in the system. Thus, true power doesn't lie in the hands of the strong. It lies in the minds of those who believe someone is strong. A small person with a commanding presence can still make others step aside. That's the power of the status illusion. The status game never ends. Every day you're playing it without realizing. When you walk into a room, you're sending signals. When you speak, you're negotiating status. And when you stay silent at the right moment, you're winning without saying a word. Next time you're in a crowd, observe. There will be someone who silences the room just by being there. No words, no title needed. Just presence. Have you ever seen someone command a room's attention just by staying silent? Part 6. Assumption, the supreme law of power. In every game of power, there's a hidden law. It's stronger than skill, status, or knowledge. It's an assumption, the foundational belief you carry. If you believe you're weak, you'll act weak. If you believe you're unworthy, others will agree. If you believe you're valuable, the world will reflect that. Every action starts with a belief in your mind. Assumption is the root of power. It doesn't need words or complex displays. It lies in your posture, your gaze, your breath. People sense the energy of your belief, and they respond as if looking in a mirror. If you enter a room with fear, others will treat you as lesser. If you enter believing you're worthy, others will make way for you. Not because they understand you, but because they feel you. The world doesn't see you as you think it does. It sees you through how you see yourself. That's the law of social perception. You define yourself, and the world agrees. There are two types of people in life. The first, those who ask permission to exist. They speak softly, move quickly, and apologize when it's unnecessary. They wait for others to validate them before speaking up. They believe power is something granted. The second, those who act as if they already have power. They don't ask permission, they declare their presence. They don't wait to be invited, they make space for themselves. They don't ask, "Can I?" They say, "I will." The world responds differently to these two types. With the first, society places them low. Not because they're lesser, but because they place themselves there. With the second, society elevates them. Not because they're better, but because they make others believe they are. That's the mirroring mechanism of belief. Psychology calls it a self-fulfilling prophecy, a prediction that becomes reality. When you believe something long enough, your actions align with that belief. Others see those actions and respond accordingly. The final outcome reinforces your initial belief. If you believe you're small, you'll speak softly, shrink back. Others will see you as small. If you believe you're valuable, you'll speak firmly and look directly. Others will see you as trustworthy. That's the cycle of reality shaped by belief. Assumption isn't just an emotion, it's a frequency. Each person emits a different energy when entering a space. The confident make the room fall silent. The fearful make the air heavy. These things can't be faked forever. The strong aren't those who shout the loudest. They simply don't doubt themselves. When their mind fully believes in their status, every gesture carries weight. Even their silence becomes power. Machiavelli once wrote, "A ruler doesn't need to be loved, only believed. That belief doesn't start with the people. It starts with the ruler." They believe they have power, so others do too. If you believe you're lesser, you'll find reasons to shrink. If you believe you're great, you'll act like the great. And those actions make others confirm your belief. This cycle is the foundation of all power. No one can give you strength. They only respond to the strength you believe you have. Power isn't granted, it's displayed. Your belief is the starting point of all status. So, observe the belief you carry. Are you acting like someone who needs permission or someone with authority? Are you waiting for validation or creating it? The world only reflects what you believe is true. If you believe you deserve respect, will the world respond differently? Part 7. How to use illusion without becoming a fraud. Performing doesn't mean faking. The difference lies in intent. A fraud wants to hide their true nature. A wise person wants to project their strongest self. Machiavelli said image outweighs truth. People don't see the world as it is. They see it through their own perceptions. Thus, the one who shapes perception holds the reins. Power doesn't come from lying. It comes from making others believe what you choose to show. That's not deception. It's the art of crafting perception. Start with your body. Posture is the first language of power. A bowed head and hunched shoulders signal weakness. Standing tall, shoulders open, gaze steady, says, "I'm in control of this situation." Eye contact is the anchor of influence. The truly powerful don't stare constantly. They look at the right moment, hold it just long enough, then release gently. That gaze creates a sense of order, boundaries, and authority. Your voice is a tool for impact. A shaky voice shows anxiety. A voice that is too loud shows a lack of control. A steady, slow, deep voice conveys weighted confidence. No need to shout. Just speak as if you don't need to be heard. Words should be short, clear, and precise. The more you talk, the more you reveal insecurity. The powerful choose words like weapons. One well-timed sentence can outweigh an entire speech. Silence is also a form of action. Silence at the right moment creates space for others to interpret. In that space, they imagine you. And imagination often makes you larger than reality. Smart performing is about setting a frame, not crafting illusions. It's knowing what you want others to feel, then acting in alignment with that. If you want others to believe you're valuable, don't prove it, show it. The wise know when to reveal themselves. Not always strong. Sometimes soft to soothe, sometimes firm to assert. This flexibility isn't fake, it's self-control. True power doesn't need to be flaunted. It radiates from how you hold your energy. When you don't rush to prove yourself, others start to validate you. The illusion Machiavelli spoke of isn't about pretending. It's about making others form a feeling about you. You don't need to say you're trustworthy. You just act as if it's obvious. Confidence isn't shouting that you're strong. It's the quiet of someone who knows they don't need validation. And that's the most enduring illusion of power. Look at yourself. When you walk into a room, what do others feel? Does your energy make them want to listen? If not, start with how you stand, speak, and look. Power isn't in complexity. It's in deliberate simplicity. Fewer words, fewer movements, fewer expressions. But every detail carries meaning. Finally, remember this. The truly powerful don't need to seem powerful. They just need to master themselves. The question is, do you think staying silent at the right moment is also a form of power? Part 8. Controlling your image. The art of branding yourself as a ruler. The world doesn't react to the real you. It reacts to the image you create. That's a fundamental social law. It's not mere deception. Machiavelli said this long ago. Whoever controls the narrative controls reality. People see you through the story they hear. If you don't tell it, someone else will. Everyone has a personal brand. You don't need fame to have one. You just need to show up enough and consistently. The question is whether your image serves you, or if it's limiting your potential. Those defined by others live reactively. They're always explaining and justifying. They let others decide who they are. They lose control of their life's narrative. In contrast, those who write their own story hold power. They don't wait for validation. They act like the version they choose. They dress and speak with purpose. They show up as the person they want to become. Personal branding isn't decoration. It's a continuous strategy. Every gesture is a message. Every decision adds to the bigger picture. If you don't control it, someone else will paint it for you. Choose the strongest version of yourself. It doesn't need to be perfect, just clear. A version that lets you walk into a room with confidence. A version that makes others understand you quickly. A version that reflects the values you want to show. Then repeat it consistently. Consistency builds lasting trust. A single display grabs attention, but repetition creates essence. Consistency turns behavior into perception. Rulers build their brand through repetition. They don't shout, but they're always consistent. Every appearance reinforces their message. Every small action aligns with their role. You don't need to change your entire self. Pick your best parts and amplify them. Focus on a few impactful traits. Forge them into daily habits. Habits will shape the impression you leave. The world isn't fair, that's the truth. Those who control the narrative define right and wrong. Others can only react to it. So seize the pen. Write the story you want others to believe. Every day you send signals. Through how you speak, stay silent, or show up. Choose to send signals with purpose. Don't let your signals be random. If you don't tell your story, who will tell it for you? Part 9. The rule of silence and the power of mystery. Power sometimes lies in silence. The powerful don't reveal everything about themselves. They know how to keep a layer of mystery. Mystery creates a gap in perception. That gap forces others to fill it in. And when they do, they often make it grander. Silence at the right moment unlocks strength. It creates space for imagination. Imagination breeds fear and respect. People are wary of what they don't understand. And wariness is a form of power. Great leaders know this. They say little and act much. They let success speak for their words. They don't need to explain every decision. Their silence carries certainty. When you hold a mystery, others assign meaning. They often overestimate your abilities. They craft a story about you. And that story often leads to respect. Silence is also a strategy for observation. When you don't speak, you listen more. You gather information others overlook. That information lets you respond more accurately. And accurate responses strengthen your position. Conversely, speaking too much exposes weaknesses. Excess words give opponents material to exploit. They seize on vulnerabilities you unwittingly reveal. Thus, restraint is a defensive weapon. Mystery also fuels curiosity. Curiosity draws the crowd's eyes to you. Their attention can turn into a lasting influence. The object of curiosity easily becomes the focal point. The center is where power can grow. Silence is a way to maintain self-control. Those who speak less often manage emotions better. They don't let anger expose their weaknesses. They maintain a steady image in others' eyes. Learning to stay silent isn't easy. It requires discipline and self-awareness. You must know when to speak and when to hold back. Words must carry weight when you choose to release them. A well-placed pause amplifies the impact of words. A short sentence in a moment of silence holds great value. Listeners hang on for your next word. That effect can't be achieved with constant talking. Throughout history, many leaders use this strategy. They let actions build their reputation. They let others interpret and respect them. That's the art of using mystery to dominate. However, silence doesn't mean evasion. It's not a way to dodge responsibility. It's a strategic tool when used correctly. Used wrongly, silence can seem like passivity. You need a balance between transparency and mystery. A touch of transparency builds basic trust. Mystery adds weight to your powerful image. Combining both makes you trustworthy and compelling. Mystery must align with consistent action. If actions contradict mystery, you lose credibility. Others will call it manipulative deceit. Thus, maintaining mystery requires a foundation of reality. Start practicing with small steps. Cut back on unnecessary explanations daily. Speak less, choose the right moment to contribute. Observe how others react when you stay silent. Note what creates greater influence. When you master it, silence becomes a weapon. It sets you apart in a noisy crowd. It helps you retain control in communication. And when needed, one sentence from you carries immense weight. You can try it today. Pause a few seconds longer before responding. Notice the change in how others listen. That's the first step to building power through mystery. Do you think sometimes silence is stronger than words? Part 10. Redefining confidence, not pretending, but declaring. Confidence isn't just an inner feeling. It's a deliberate action. It's not waiting to feel ready before acting. It's behaving as if you're already ready. Those who wait for validation avoid risks. They delay moving forward until permitted. They seek proof before declaring. As a result, they're often left behind. Those who crown themselves are different. They declare their status before having proof. They act like they already hold power. Then they use actions to back their declaration. The world rewards those who declare first. Because people crave certainty and simplicity. When someone speaks decisively, the crowd follows. Others find grounding in that decisiveness. Declaring first creates a positive feedback loop. You declare, you act, others believe. That belief opens new opportunities for you. Then you use those opportunities to reinforce your declaration. Confidence, then, is a chain of behaviors. It's not a magic spark born within. It's a habit you forge daily. Each small decision builds your image. Acting like a leader doesn't mean arrogance. It means taking responsibility for your actions. It means speaking clearly and firmly when needed. It means standing firm under scrutiny. The truly confident don't need to boast. They don't constantly try to convince others. They set standards for their own behavior. And they let results speak for their words. The difference between waiting and declaring is agency. Those who wait are controlled by circumstances. Those who declare actively shape circumstances. That's the shift from a victim mindset to a leader's mindset. Confidence requires systematic practice. Start with posture and breath. Speak briefly, speak accurately, hold eye contact. Small actions create a larger attitude. Don't wait for others to grant you a title. Crowning yourself means allowing yourself to step up. Act like the person you want to become. Then use the results to prove that declaration. Declarations must come with responsibility. If you declare, you must bear the consequences. That's how you maintain lasting credibility. A declaration without integrity quickly crumbles. The world respects those who take responsibility. They speak less of fear. They speak more of direction. And that's why they're followed. Confidence isn't for deception. It's for channeling energy toward goals. It's a tool to turn words into reality. And it's how you write your own future. You can learn this skill. You can start with small daily actions. You can gradually increase your responsibility. Over time, declarations become your nature. So the question for you now is, do you dare to act like a leader, even if no one has called you one yet? Conclusion. The world doesn't grant you power. It reflects the power you assume. Power originates from the belief you carry. If you believe you're strong, the world will respond that way. If you believe you're small, the world will treat you accordingly. Every interaction starts with an assumption. That assumption shapes how others see you. Thus, the first strategy is to choose your assumption. Declare first, then prove later. That's the principle of leaders. Don't wait for rules or validation. Don't let doubt hold you back. Act like the worthy person you are right now. Your walk, voice, and gaze all matter. These small things create big beliefs. You don't need to lie to be strong. You need consistency in how you show up. Build your personal brand with clear intent. Repeat your best version every day. Repetition turns illusion into reality. Silence at the right moment is a weapon. Confidence is a skill you can forge. Assumption is the foundation of all status. Whoever controls belief controls the outcome. That's Machiavelli's final lesson. Now it's time for you to decide. Will you wait for permission to exist? Or will you define yourself today? Will you be the waiter or the one who takes charge? That decision will change your path. If this video has awakened you, take action. Leave a comment sharing your experience. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next part. Share this video if you find it valuable. Spread Machiavelli's mindset responsibly. Thank you for watching to the end. Remember, power is the assumption you carry. Choose that assumption wisely. Act like the person you want to become. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.